$1,997 refund checks from the IRS. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, now in this video, I do want to discuss the latest details on refund checks out of the IRS, as well as some other recent announcements and everything you need to know about this, so let's get into it and talk about what they're now saying. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because we are rapidly approaching 500,000 subscribers right here on the channel, and it would truly mean so much to me if you subscribe down below, as it is my dedication, my commitment, and my promise to you and everybody right here in the community to continuously be here right by your side each and every day as your one and only daily advocate. I am watching all of this new information hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what's actually going on right now during this very confusing, busy, and uncertain time that we're currently living through. So again, thanks so much for joining me. I am here for you in any way that I can be. So let's get into it and talk about what's going on, the recent announcements out of the IRS, and what you need to know. All right, so I want to bring you the latest details on this as we are finally getting some reports out of the IRS where they're currently sitting right now, and these nearly $2,000 refund checks on average that are going out to millions upon millions of Americans. All right, so let me bring you up to speed as far as where we currently stand. So I have to give you a full disclaimer here. This information is from a couple days ago. Now again, generally this information is usually a couple days delayed because, that's kind of where we currently stand, as things are processing pretty quickly, or, as quickly as possible anyway. So again, this is from a couple days ago, but this is the latest reading that we have as of right now. All right, so back on January 23rd is when the tax season started. In other words, that is when the IRS started accepting tax returns from the year 2022. So obviously we're in 2023 right now. We're filing 2022 tax returns. However, let me walk you through the numbers as far as what the IRS has announced and what we know as of right now. All right, so as of just a few days ago, the IRS has officially received 28.8 million tax returns so far. It's a lot, right? Just under 30 million tax returns. However, as of a couple days ago, they have so far processed 13.3 million tax returns. So they've processed just a little under half of the returns that they've received so far. They've been able to process them. Now, this is actually pretty good. They're making pretty good time so far. However, there's one little downfall to this. Here's what we're finding. The average refund right now for the average American getting a refund right now is $1,997. Now get this. This is actually down 14% over it was last year at this time, where the average refund last year was $2,323 at this same time last year. So that is, $326? It's a lot of money, right? So that is what they're saying right now, is that the average refund is down 14%. Like I said, $326. The average refund right now, just under $2,000, $1,997 as of right now, based on those 13.3 million returns that have so far been processed. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot more returns to process, okay? They still have tens of millions of returns to continue processing, so this is still a relatively small sample size as of right now, but nonetheless, it's still a sample size and probably something we want to pay attention to. Now, you might be wondering, why are refunds so much lower this year? Let me throw out a couple details here, because some things happened last year. Well, what I should say is in 2021 and in early 2022, when tax returns started filing for 2021, things were different, a little bit different. Now, let me tell you the details on that. A couple things happened in 2021 that people were getting refunds for in 2022 that they're not getting refunds for now. Number one, stimulus checks. In 2021, we all got, or at least 85% of the population got, a $1,400 stimulus check. Remember that? That was in March and April of 2021. Not to mention, at the same time, the American Rescue Plan that was passed in March of 2021 also contained the expanded child tax credit payments through the second half of 2021. Those were the ongoing monthly checks from July through the end of the year in 2021, where about 38 million households were getting, on average, $422 every single month for 6 months straight. And then the second half of those payments were paid out as tax refunds when the person went to file their tax return last year. So that is one of the main reasons why these tax refunds are so much smaller going forward now. Because in 2021, there was a lot of money that was being handed out. In 2022, what did they do? Well, they certainly didn't give us anything, right? They took a lot away through inflation, right? I think a lot of us felt pretty nice in 2021 when we got checks and we got a little bit of help. In 2022, we saw it all disappear because of inflation. Thank you very much, inflation, right? Our favorite friend. Not. Anyway, so that is what happened. So that is one of the main reasons why tax refunds this year in 2023 are so much smaller on the behalf of 2022 versus what they were a year ago in early 2022 on the behalf of 2021. Make sense? All right, so here's a couple of details that I want to point out for you. Number one, the IRS generally says this time of year, don't call them, okay? Now, here's the thing. You can call the IRS if you want to. I'm not here to say you should or should not call the IRS. But they are very busy right now this time of year, okay? So generally they would advise, probably try not to call us if you can. It's a very, very busy time. However, if you want to, by all means, call the IRS. Nothing wrong with that at all. However, don't be surprised if you wait on hold for a very long time, or maybe you don't even get to connect with somebody. And when you finally do, don't be surprised if they may not have an answer for you. Let me point this out really quickly here. Generally, the IRS says that your refund or your tax return will generally be processed within about 21 days, 3 weeks, okay? So if you filed your tax return, let's just say on February 1st, for example, okay? I'm just using a round date just for easy purposes, okay? Let's just say that you filed your tax return on February 1st. Generally, they would say, don't even call us until after 21 days. So just keep that in mind, okay? So I would say this much. If you filed your tax return, say February 1st, don't even try calling them until like March 1st, okay? The reason for that is accounting for holidays and accounting for days off and things like this. Please just give them some extra time right now. They've got a lot going on. And based on some other reports that I've seen out there, it looks like they're still backed up with tax returns from last year. Millions of returns from last year as well. So they're very, very busy this time of year. The best thing that we can do, and trust me, I know I'm a very impatient person. However, the best thing that I can say to do this time of year is try to be patient and wait. I know, it's a lot easier said than done. I get it. I know, people have to remind me all the time, dude, Matt, you gotta calm down for a second. You just need to be patient for a minute here. It's gonna happen. And I'm just like, come on, I can't wait any longer. You know what I mean? So I am very, very impatient, but it's the time of year right now. We've just gotta practice patience because that is the only thing we can really do right now. If you call the IRS, they're not gonna expedite your process or your return. They're not gonna say, oh, John Smith, I see your return right here. Sure, no problem. Let me expedite that for you. They're not going to do that, okay? So calling them is probably not going to really solve any issues other than maybe just get you more frustrated and possibly even more agitated because you've waited on hold, you talk to an agent that may not have answers for you, or maybe they tell you, hey, I'm sorry, but we're still within the 21-day window. We don't have any answers for you right now, okay? So the best thing I can say is, I know, it's tough. But if you can, try to hold off and wait a little bit longer. Now, if you filed your return on, say, January 23rd, when they started accepting tax returns, and you still have not received it as of now, well, it might be time to actually give them a call. But, other than that, you may just want to wait it out a little bit. One more thing that I want to say as well. If you have not filed your tax return yet, couple things that I can give you here as far as how to expedite this process. Number one, if you can avoid filing a paper return, now again, everybody's situation is different. I totally understand. But if you can avoid filing a paper return and do it electronically instead, you're going to be way, way, way ahead of the game, okay? Because here's the thing with a paper return. You got to package it up, you got to mail it off, they need to open it, they need to process it, and it's going to take a long time. It's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks. If it's electronic, it's instant, okay? They get it instantly or, very close to. They process it very quickly, and then you can get your refund pretty quickly as well. Next, I want to say this much as well. If you go to file a tax return, whether it's paper or electronic, if you can set up for direct deposit, as in you're waiting for a refund, if you can set up for direct deposit rather than a paper check being mailed to your physical address, that again is going to be way, way, way faster than waiting for a paper check to arrive, okay? We all know waiting for something to arrive in your mailbox can be honestly very, very frustrating. I mean, how many of us have waited for that? You're waiting for a check, waiting for a check, waiting for a check. You call them and say, hey, yo, where's my check? And they say, hey, check's in the mail. Have you ever heard that one before? I mean, let's be real. How many of us have used that example or used that excuse in our lives? I threw the check in the mail. Leave me alone. It's out of my hands. You know what I mean? It's a good excuse. But don't try to use it too many times because it only works every so often, okay? But my point is, we all know how this is. You're waiting for something to show up in the mail, and it seems like it takes forever. Come on, what's taking so long here? You know what I mean? So my pro tips here are, number one, if you can file electronically, I would say by all means try to do that, which, by the way, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. I can't give you advice in this video, obviously, but I'm just simply saying, if you can file it electronically, you're going to be way happier than filing through paper. Next, if you can also set up for direct deposit, whatever software you're using to file electronically, there should be an option on there to add some banking information. So you might want to do that as well. And again, I know that's not feasible for everybody, but I'm just saying, if it's an option, by all means, you're going to be way happier because you're going to get the refund way, way faster than waiting for a paper check to come crawling into your mailbox in like 2 months. You know what I mean? So anyway, these are the details that we have as of right now. So yeah, hope this one helps you. But again, hopefully these numbers tick a little bit higher here as they continue to process these returns here. This is only based on 13.3 million returns, and they've got a lot, tens of millions of returns to go. So you know, maybe when we're out, say 30, 40, 50 million returns, well, then the number's going to be way more, you know, kind of dialed in at that point. Right now, we're kind of still bouncing all over the place because it's kind of, you know, it's not that many considering how many returns are really going to be coming in. Anyway, the latest information out of the IRS, I hope you got a check coming to you. That'd be awesome, right? It'd be certainly helpful for a lot of people. Either way, hope this one helps you. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below. I truly appreciate you. All I want to do is bring you value. All I want to do is continue to keep you updated. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I know it's a tough time. I know it's confusing, but either way, I'm doing everything I possibly can to get to each and every one of you and to help you out as much as possible. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day and catch you again later in the